Religion. Welcome to that bit of my show where I chat about things to do with physics degrees. And this time something that I have been asked by older family members generally, which is how is religion treated in a degree? I sort of generally got asked this because despite being functionally atheist by this point, I was raised religious, and the few people I knew from that church background did tend to ask, are physicists decent towards religious people? Because there was that impression that they would face some sort of mocking or discrimination for it. So this is sort of my experience thinking about that. I think the first thing that really comes out is a lot of it is stuff over nothing. If you keep your personal beliefs fairly personal, if you don't go out and find people to argue with, generally most people doing a physics degree are far more interested in doing physics. That, I suppose, makes sense. It's just, religion is just not discussed a lot. And sort of, if it is, you might get the impression that someone is either very religious and wants to talk about, or maybe someone is not and sort of doesn't really want to have people chatting about it. But it rarely gets discussed. There's a lot more about work and alcohol and partying, to be honest, than there is about religion. The nice flip side of that, as I said, functionally atheist, there is very little proselytising from other physics students, which is utterly beautiful. I mean, as I say, the flip side of someone can be fairly free to be religious and practice that religion personally without much conflict over it, that has the added effect that there is definitely an unwritten rule, I suppose, that you don't try and convert, or that you don't use any sort of position you have during your degree as a way to convert people. So that's kind of useful. The only other thing that I'd mention about religion, this didn't really affect me, but it does affect other people, is British University obviously built around the religion of Christianity because British. And what that means is that generally deadlines, exams, that sort of thing are fitted around the idea that if you are either Christian or non-religious, in which case you probably don't have many sort of observances in that sense, that you can do most of your major religious practice without much difficulty when it comes to completing your degree. So one thing to mention is if you do adhere to a religion which is not perhaps as common in the UK, it is worth checking right at the start where are the conflicts between your degree and religious observances that you want to practice, because it's not good to find out that you have a demanding practice. I mean, think something like perhaps the sort of thing in Islam where you go without food for a long time. You don't want to be doing that during exam period if you don't have to. And it's worth, if you are a member of a religion that isn't sort of as widely practiced in the UK, see if your celebrations line up with difficult deadlines in the degree from the start. Don't get surprised in that sort of thing, because it's not a good thing to be surprised about. But anyway, that's enough rambling about religion. Cheers for listening.